everyone, and thank you for joining us for this session. I'm Devesh Lathi from the Next Genius Foundation, and it's a pleasure to have you all here. Joining us today, we have Kritika Garg from University of Sheffield. And Kritika, it's a pleasure to have you with us here today. So in this session, this is a 2-hour event for all of you who are joining us. This is a 2-hour event, and in this event, you are going to learn about the admissions process in the US. Then in the next session, after half an hour, you will see how to fill the UCAS completely. And then in the final session, that is from 6:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. IST, you will see how to write the UCAS personal statement. So those will be the 3 sessions that you will be a part of today from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And yes, I think that's all about I wanted to share with you before starting. This session is being recorded, which means you'll be able to watch it later if for some reason you miss out this, or if you're watching it right now, and if you want to revisit it. There is a Q&A feature at the bottom, so feel free to use that to post any questions, and we'll try to take all your questions towards the end of the session. And with that, we are now ready to commence the session. So thank you so much, Kritika, for joining us today for this session. And we are looking forward to learning more about the admissions process and how the admissions actually works in the UK. Over to you now, Kritika. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Devesh. So, hello everyone, I'm Kritika. I'm the India officer for the University of Sheffield. And today I'll be talking you through the UCAS process and how admissions process work for the university for UK, and on personal statements, like how to make the personal statements. So just starting with what is UCAS? UCAS is a universities and colleges admissions services. It's the application portal for most of the UK universities. There are a few UK universities that does accept applications directly as well, but mostly most of the universities expect applications from for UG from UCAS. So the UCAS website can be used to apply for up to 5 UK universities. 5 UK universities in addition, including your either Oxford or Cambridge and your medicine applications. You can also apply for the research courses. You can find out about the universities and colleges. You can read blogs from various international students and find out their experiences and how they plan to study in the UK and how they planned all about their undergraduation. You can also find open days for a lot of universities on the UCAS website. You can download the UCAS publications, see the entry requirements for all of the universities enrolled with UCAS, and obviously you can make and track your application with UCAS. So the main thing is that you make an application through UCAS, like universities, you make an application to the university through UCAS and they revert back to you on UCAS itself for the offers. Whether it's an acceptance, rejection, or whatever it is from the university side, they will revert back to you on the UCAS. The documents that are required for UCAS, one is a personal statement, which has to be 4,000 characters. So it's very important to be honest, check your grammar errors and your spelling mistakes and all of those things, and focus on why, what, and what are your strengths and your future plans. Also talk about all of the extracurricular activities that you have done in your school time. That will definitely strengthen your application. And we'll talk in depth about personal statement. We also require one reference letter. This is preferred to be from the subject teacher that you are planning to apply for. For example, if you're applying for, let's say, economics honors, like master UG in economics, BSc or BA economics, we prefer that your economics teacher give you the reference. It's just one of the recommendations, not a necessity. Then we have your class 10th and class 12 class 10 mark sheet and your 12th predicted scores. If you have the 12th grades already, then great. If not, then obviously we'll require a predicted scores. There is no particular format as such for the predicted scores. So it just has to be from your principal sign and stamp on your school letterhead. You'll also require IELTS. For English language, IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, whatever you can submit for your English language proof. Some courses like medicine, law would also require some portfolio or an entrance exam like LNAT or UCAT, UKCAT or something. These might be required for some courses. So some points to remember here would be like, obviously application goes mostly through UCAS. As I said, some universities might accept applications directly as well. You can make a maximum of 5 choices. However, if you're applying for medicine, veterinary science, dentistry, health, these are restricted only to 4 choices. You can only apply to 4 universities for these courses. Also, you can either apply to Oxford or Cambridge. You cannot apply to both of the universities for your undergrad. The cost of one application is £22, and if you want to make like 2 to 5 applications, then it's £26.50. All of the applications will be considered equally until the deadline. We'll be talking about the deadline in some time. And obviously, this is a very transparent process. And so if you apply for 5 universities, the other 4 universities would not know like which university, like none of the universities would know which universities you have applied for. So it's very transparent. It's very beneficial for the student that way. Coming to the application process, the student has to complete 6 sections. First, obviously, the personal details. Then you put in your choices of the university. These choices are not in a preference order. These are just random 5 choices of like wherever you want to apply according to your predicted scores and your choice of location, your course. Then obviously your educational background, your class 10th, class 12th, any internship or anything you've done during your schooling, that's there. Then the employment, again, the CV, if you have done some volunteering work or some internships during your schooling, definitely do put them in under employment. Personal statement, and then comes the references. Once these sections are completed, then you submit your application through UCAS, and then that's where the universities and colleges receive your application and then they make an offer. So there are 3 options that the university has. Either they can give you a conditional offer, unconditional offer, or they can reject your application and give you an unsuccessful decision. Conditional offer would majorly be conditional upon, like the most common case is obviously the class 12 scores. So if you're submitting predicted scores, then obviously you will have to meet the conditions of the university in order to get the unconditional offer. The other one could be IELTS or a references missing, something of the other. So this is how the UCAS track looks like. UCAS track is the online system. This is where you can track the progress of your application, whether it has been submitted, whether the university has seen it, whether the university is working on it, have they accepted your offer, like have they made you an offer yet, and all of these things. You can look at all of your choices, your offers, your personal details, everything can be seen here and updated. It gives you a 24/7 access, and you have your personal password as well. This is where you also reply to your offers. So once you receive the offers from all of the 5 universities or responses from all of the 5 universities, that's when you have to make a choice where you will be choosing a insurance and a firm choice. Firm choice would be your first choice and insurance choice would be your second choice, and the rest of the 3 offers will automatically get declined. Through a UCAS track, you can also apply through extra, clearing, and adjustments. Extra would be where you will be, if you receive rejection from all of the other universities or the other choices, then that's where you apply for an extra. You can only make 1 application here. Clearing is when you have either not applied to any other universities or you have not been able to meet the conditions. That's when you go for clearing. Adjustments is when you have received higher than your predicted scores. For example, a university required 85% and your predicted score was 80%. So you would not have applied for the 85% one because you would not have gotten the offer. But now you've gotten 85. So now you want to apply for that university, since that could have been your first choice, and that's when you go for adjustment. Again, for extra clearing and adjustment, you can only apply for one university. So the red mark on the red circle, that's how you reply to your offers. The date has now changed. I think it's somewhere in July now. Date to reply to your offers. These are the decisions, as I was telling you earlier, that you can either make the choice as firm, insurance, and then the other offers will be declined. Firm is when you have met all of your conditions, or you know that you're going to meet their conditions, and this is your first choice. If you meet the conditions for firm, and you make it unconditional, then your insurance choice will automatically get declined. If in case you're not able to meet the conditions for the firm choice, in that case you go for your insurance choice. So this is just like a backup option. Some students do not convert their firm choices to unconditional as well, and they straight away go for the insurance choice as well. So this is a very rare case, but how the actual process is: firm is your first choice, insurance is your second choice. Once you have made these two choices, all of the other three offers, if you have them, they will automatically get declined. If once a decision is made and all the replies are made, and you're not holding an offer, then there comes the UCAS extra or the clearing, and that's where you apply to one more university. These are some of the most important deadlines for the UCAS. The applications for UCAS 2022 entry opened up on 18th of May. On 7th of May is when the applicants, like you as an applicant, can start paying and send their applications to UCAS and universities and colleges to start making their decisions. 15th of October is the deadline for applying for either Oxford or Cambridge, again, either of those, and most of the courses within dentistry, medicine, veterinary science, and veterinary medicine. 26th of January is the deadline for equal consideration. This is the deadline for majority of the undergraduate courses, but this is also flexible for international students. 25th February is when the extra starts, UCAS extra. That's where you can start putting your application for the extra UCAS extra. And then 30th of June is the last date to submit your application for UCAS. If any application is received after 30th of June, it automatically goes into clearing. So coming to personal statements. Personal statement is where you are telling the reader like why you're applying to a particular course. Here you're not talking about why you're applying to a particular university, but only a particular course, because obviously you'll be applying to 5 universities or 5 courses or whatever you're applying to. You do not make it university specific. You make it your course specific. So that's why we also recommend students to not apply for, let's say, one economics and one chemistry course. You always apply like economics or management together, so that your ambitions align with like for the entire statement, because that is the one statement that goes to all of the 5 choices that you make in the UCAS. It's very important to align your ambitions and your career prospects and tell us why you're applying to a particular course. You can also tell us about why the subjects interest you and how you grew up, like how the interest grew for that particular subject. The course, like about the subject, the course provider. You can also talk about the higher education as a whole and not again the higher education institute. You should also think about what makes you suitable, like you as a student, why are you suitable for that particular course? Again, not for the university, but for the course. How does your skills and experiences or achievements make you a good fit for that course? How does your this is where you talk about your education, work, and other related activities that you've done relating to that particular subject. There's a chance to show yourself as an all-rounder. So if you have done like sports, or you have been involved in various clubs and societies, or been a prefect to 2 different clubs or presidents or classes, then this is where you show those skills. And this is where you tell us that these are the extra things that you have done apart from just your studies. If you have also taken part in higher education taster courses, placements, or summer schools, or anything you have done, always do include those things. This is a this is a perfect outline of your personal circumstances as well. If you have faced some extenuating circumstances in your life, then please do mention them. If they have affected your grades in any way, do mention them here. So overall, when you're making a personal statement, it has to be relevant to the field that you're applying to. If it's management, then management. Then if it's medicine, then it has to be medicine related. Then why you're choosing to study, then why you're choosing to do your undergraduation. That is also one of the important questions to answer. Include your co-curricular activities in this. Include why UK, if not why this university, why UK, why this subject, of course. Like if under management you're going for international management, then why international management and not simple management? Because there would have been some experience or some activity that you would have done that would have related you towards international management more. And then obviously your short-term and long-term career goals. What do you plan on doing after your bachelor's, whether it's further studies, whether you want to go into research or you want to go further into higher studies or work. So this is on the personal statements. So thank you so much. Now we're open for questions.
Yes. Thank you so much, Kritika, for sharing all of that information. That was very precise and very crisp. So thanks for being so crisp with this presentation. We do have some questions which are coming in. So we'll just get going with that in a few seconds. But before that, can you just give a very brief 1 minute, 2 minute overview of University of Sheffield?
Absolutely, absolutely. I can definitely give you an overview. Just allow me a second. I also do have a presentation, like a small slide for that.
So to all the students who are here, we are just going through the first session of the day, and we just heard about how the application process in the UK works. Following that, we have a session where you'll see how to fill the UCAS, and following that, we have a session on writing the UCAS personal statement. So stay tuned, and over to you, Kritika, once again. Please tell us a little bit about Sheffield.
Thank you so much, Devesh. So the University of Sheffield, it's a world top 100 Russell Group university. We are ranked 17th in the UK and 95th in the world. We are a part of the prestigious Russell Group, and only 24 universities make a part of it. It's like the Ivy Leagues of the US. We are top 50 most international universities in the world, which translates to the fact that we cater to over 150 nationalities. Every year, the University of Sheffield gets 30,000 students, out of which 10,000 are international students. So it's a very mixed cultural background that you get, and very culturally diverse university. You don't get a very Indian crowd, you don't get a very African crowd or very Asian crowd. It's a perfect mix of that. And I think that's one of the major reasons why students also prefer going abroad, because they want to get that regional mix and cultural mix. We are Triple Crown accredited for our management school by AACSB, EQUIS, and AMBA, which means that any student who graduates from our management school gets a recognition throughout the world. Our law courses, like our LLB course, is Bar Council of India accredited. So if the student once completes their degree with the University of Sheffield, they can also come back to India and work as a barrister, as a lawyer. And we're also Medical Council of India accredited and Chartered and Council of Architecture accredited for India. You can also come back to India after completing their BR with the University of Sheffield and practice as an architect. In the University of Sheffield, we have 6 Nobel laureates across physics and chemistry, and 1 in English. We are number 1 in North of England for our graduate prospects, which means that 96% of our graduates end up going into further studies or work within 6 months of completing their studies. As I said, we cater to over 9,000 international students from 150 countries. We are also one of the most affordable student cities in the UK, according to the latest survey from NatWest. We are also one of the greenest cities in Europe. We have, like, for every 1 student, there are 4 trees. So we are one of the most greenest cities in Europe. We're also only university to share our boundaries with the Peak District National Park. So if a student is interested in sports activities, hiking or camping, it's a perfect place because it's just a 20 minutes walk from the campus. We are situated right in the heart of England. We are in south of Yorkshire, about a 45 minutes drive from Manchester International Airport and about 2 hours train ride from London. Manchester International Airport is also where we conduct our meet and greet services. For the 2021 intake students, obviously we couldn't do it because of COVID, but further on, we also provide like the bus service to and from Sheffield from Manchester International Airport. So that's also there for us. We have a India specific Instagram page. The barcode is on your screen. So if you would like to follow us, you get all of the India specific details, any events that the team is doing, or the campus life, the student life, the testimonials, a lot of things are done on a daily basis on that page. So please do follow us.
Fantastic. Thanks for that very quick overview, Kritika. Let's just go through a few questions which have come in, and then we can just wrap this session number 1. So can you just explain very briefly what is the difference between extra and clearing?
Yeah, so extra is when like the student has not received any, what I would say, has not received any offers, or has not applied to any offers, or has applied to an offer but does not want to go, has applied to a university but does not want to accept that offer. That's when they go for an extra. Or they have applied for all the 5 universities. Obviously, you can just apply for 5 at once. This will be your 6th choice if you do not accept any of the 5 offers, or you have been rejected for all of the 5 ones. That's when you apply for the extra. The clearing is when you have been unable to meet the conditions for any of the offers that have been made, or you wish to apply for a 6th university altogether that you did not apply earlier. That's when you go for clearing.
Okay, superb. How can the schools send their predicted grades to the universities? Is there a portal within UCAS, or how does that work?
Yeah, so it is a section. That's where you upload that particular document for your predicted scores. So UCAS only.
The counselors can upload that, or the students can upload it themselves?
So if a counselor is making the student's application, then of course they can upload it. Otherwise, if the student has the access to the portal, then they can also.
All right, perfect. Okay, I think that's about the questions that we had to discuss. Yeah. All right. So that's where we'll stop this session. So thank you so much, Kritika, for being here and for sharing all that information. It was a pleasure having you here. And thanks for sharing also briefly about the University of Sheffield. It was a pleasure learning about your university as well.
Thank you so much, Dinesh. And thank you so much, everyone.